rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Classic
Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to read. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way to read. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Never know which way. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Latin America.
Hey. We back. Caught you off guard.
Drop it on mine, Dwayne. I ain't got it there yet because I want to share.
I'll share it to you, JT. Yeah.
All right.
Say no more.
Okay, then I'll share it to them. Yeah, we back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
And that's a cop.
Boy, he is on point tonight, man. Hey, brother, I don't know what you saying to him down there, but keep saying it.
Yeah.
It'll rub off in the weeks to come. You right on point tonight. So, yes, thank you for sitting. Did have a choice, but just had a moment. My wife called in and she just basically wanted to commend Adrian in regards to the strength that she's showing, because this strength is not only for people that's dealing with this disease, but it's also strength for people that's not. You know, there's a lot of people out there complaining about some of the small things in life. Sometimes when you see somebody going through something really big that's really life-altering, it can help you put things in perspective. So we seriously appreciate you. I know that you can't be here, all night because, like I said, you got a life that's different than ours, and we want to make sure that, you keep doing what you got to do. But I wanted you to talk about your foundation in regards to the kids. I know it has a lot to do with kids that's being abducted, sexual abuse, being abused verbally, being abused physically, and things of that nature. So go ahead and speak on that real quick.
So a little bit of my backstory. I was
molested from the time I was 3 to 15. And I don't want another kid to go through what I've been through. So I mentor kids that have been bullied, not just bullied, but I mentor the bullies, because I believe that they got to go through something in order to be able to do what they're doing. And nobody wants to take the time to see why the kids are doing the bullying. They only focus on the kids that are being bullied. I want to take it a step further. I mentor those that have been abused, whether it's physical, mental, or sexual, and those babies that have been victims of sex trafficking. Sex trafficking in Atlanta and around the world is huge.
Yes, it is.
And I want to do my part to make sure that it stops. The book is going to stop with me. I don't want another baby, female, male, or whatever, to go through this. When I came back in town last Sunday, I saw a little bit how sex trafficking ring is. If you go to the Atlanta airport, y'all, I need y'all to be careful. Especially young-looking women, teenagers, males that look young. I need y'all to keep your third eye open and keep your head on a swivel. And what I mean by that is, when I was there, I walk with a cane, so I'm gonna take advantage of all the handicap accessibilities they give me, right? So the guy was wheeling me out, and he says, well, ma'am, do you have an Uber? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna order. He said, please go out and order it now before I get you to the zone. And I said, why, what's up? He said, you see these guys out here? And I'm gonna blow somebody's ring up right now, so I don't care.
Blow it up.
He said, you see these guys out here? They're waiting for somebody to get caught slipping. I said, well, give me the lowdown. He said, okay. I said, I want you to take my number. I said, if you see anything, I need you to call me. And he says, they're gonna ask you if you need a ride or if you're tired of waiting on your Uber. You got cash, I'll take you wherever you want to go. He said, don't talk to not one of them. Walk past them, and anybody that you see out here, tell them to walk past them. These dudes were thirsty as all get out. They were like, anybody need a ride? Anybody need a ride? You got cash money? I get your ride. I get your ride.
Just like Buddy said, huh?
Just like Buddy said. I had my phone out, and the Uber said it was picking me up in zone 3. I literally turned around, and this young lady was sitting on the bench, and he says, anybody need a ride? And it's like I locked eyes with this young lady. She probably couldn't have been no more than maybe 20, 21 years old. And when I locked eyes with her, I just spoke to her through my eyes, and I was like, mm-mm. And so he says, you got cash? She was like, no, I just have a card. And so she looked back at me, and I said, you good? And she said, yeah, I'm good. And he goes, I can take you where you need to go, And she goes, no, I only have a car. He was like, well, sucks for you. I can't give you a ride. And then I sat there and watched them. They did not go to not one older people. Now, there was older men. There were older women. They didn't go to not one of them. They only went to the young-looking women. Why? Because they want to catch you slipping. They ain't going to take you where you want to go. They're going to get you in that vehicle and drop you off somewhere downtown, and somebody going to get you and take you wherever they going to take you. And by the morning, you're going to be moved from that location. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep something in your pocket. Keep something in your hair, something in your bra. And I mean, you better fight like your life depended on it, because your life does. I don't want another kid to go through this. Every morning, whether I'm tired or not, I mentor 3 little women. And I say little women because they're between 11 and 15. These young girls are either been victims of sex trafficking, victims of bullying, or victims of sexual abuse in their home. And they believe they're not beautiful. One of the little girls is a chocolate baby. Anybody know me? I love all kinds of chocolate, all kinds of chocolate. And our kids is every shade of the rainbow. But I love chocolate babies. And this little girl, her skin looks like it's pure milk chocolate. The expensive chocolate, the chocolate from Belgium, okay? The good, you know, not just Hershey's, because Hershey's a little cheap sometimes. I'm talking about the expensive chocolate.
That Godiva.
That part. I mean, come on, my brother.
You know, I know. Mm-hmm. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Okay.
And she doesn't think that she's beautiful. Her hair is down her back. Her real hair is down her back. And she doesn't think that she's beautiful. So every morning, I mentor her and I say, you're going to go in the mirror before you get on that bus. I am beautiful. I am loved. I am powerful. I am empowered. I am strong, and nothing and nobody will defeat me. I say that to her every single morning. I don't know if she's listening to this podcast right now, but this little baby does not know that I'm sick. I've never told her. Now, whether I'm tired or not, whether I'm in the hospital or not, I talk to her every single day.
But you're not sick though.
I'm not sick.
Yeah, you don't say that no more though, because words speak volume and words is powerful, right, Max? Like
Absolutely.
the more when you say things like that, you don't say that no more. Take that I'm sick out your vocabulary. I'm living. I'm good. I'm fighting.
I'm gonna fight.
Yeah, that's it. Because just don't ever say you sick, because you ain't sick.
I got it, ain't got me.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it, ain't got me.
Yeah, the
Talk to
words-
me nice. We outside.
We
like I
outside.
said, the word, like you said, the words, and like I said, her attitude is great towards all of this. She just has a different way. We was talking while we was through our unauthorized break. We were talking about it. She was talking about, when she was crying, how it hurts to cry.
Yeah.
And some people would look at that. They would find all the negatives in the pain from crying, but she looks at it as God doesn't want me to cry.
It's a fact.
That's why, that's where the little bit of pain comes from, is because God doesn't want her to cry. It's just the way that you look at things, the way that you approach things sometimes that will help you get through it a lot better. Being able to smile, being able to laugh. And that's, the disease, like you said, the self-esteem after the trafficking, the sexual abuse. Last week we had Dwight Howard in here talking about looking in the mirror saying, I love me some Dwight Howard. This dude is 7 feet, 265 pounds of nothing but muscle, and he says he had to look into the mirror and say to himself, I love Dwight Howard.
He came to my store one time.
Yeah, when you see something like that,
Yeah.
you see something like that, you see somebody like you that's dealing with something that is able to get through with a great attitude. It just, it's a motivation to all. So, again, I commend you on it. But you have, what's your website in regards to that? Your foundation?
It's called No More Hurt Kids. NoMoreHurtKids.com. No More Hurt Kids at Instagram.com. No More Hurt Kids at Facebook.com. No More Hurt Kids at gmail.com. No matter what you said, No More Hurt Kids is going to be a household name.
So Google No More
Kids.
Hurt Kids.
That's a
Just
fact.
Google it and it's popping. It's going to pop up for you. And again, how long do you have to kick it? I don't want to.
You fine?
Good.
You fine? I'm good.
Okay, because we're going to.
Real briefly though, just talk about your support system real.
My husband. You're gonna make me cry. Okay. I've known this man since I was 17 years old. U.S. Army has made me who I am. David Price has molded me. I don't think that I could have gotten through this without my husband, without my kids, without my mom, and my brothers and sisters. So right before I was diagnosed, I lost my older sister, Jackie, to breast cancer. And I said that I wish that her and I went through this together so we could have maybe strong-armed it and beat this together. But I said, Jackie's already here. And one of the things that she told me before I left for the Army was, don't be no punk, eh? You better not be no punk. And she's 12 years older than me. And that's one of the things I took and I take throughout this journey. I ain't gonna be no punk. My husband, every day that I'm sick, when I'm hurting, when I'm tired, especially when I'm hurting, he would pick me up. And I'm big now. I'm a big chick, He would pick me up and put me in the tub. He would carry me to the bathroom. Now, a couple times he done left me behind in the bathroom, He done fell asleep and left me in there. But, I had to put the little Google Home in the bathroom to call the kids, go wake your daddy up, tell them to come get me out the bathtub.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for all of that because throughout it, I can still laugh about it. You know, I tell this story, you know, to other people, and they be like, your husband just left you in the bathroom? Girl, he tired. He tired. When you go through this, your whole family goes through this.
That's right.
When I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm crying in my sleep because I'm hurting and I don't know that I'm crying in my sleep, he hears it. He pulls me close. You know, there are times where he wouldn't let me get into bed with my wig on. I'm like, I want my hair back. You ain't getting into bed with this wig on. Take it off. You good? I like your bald head. You know, he would shave my hair for me. He would comb my hair for me. He would size my scalp. Like, he has been my rock. Anybody know anything about the military? This is my battle.
Battle buddy.
A battle buddy. Battle set. Battle moving.
I was a Boy Scout, so I don't know much about the military. But I saw him do this, so I was about to give him Scout's honor. And you should see the smile on his face while he pours his drink and listen to you talk about him. He loves this. Look at him. That's the guy.
And
hey, kudos to him, man. Shout out to you, brother. Yeah, he play Candy Crush.
For those out there that's listening, watching, that actually knows David Price. Dwayne, you got that applause button ready? We got to give her a round of applause. We've been around this guy for a long time. Let me tell you, but I know he's always gonna keep you smiling. David he has that spirit about him. He's always gonna be laughing. He's a strong little skinny dude. He's all gristle. I'm telling you, he's all gristle. The dude ain't got no fat on his body
At all.
You know, he likes to talk about his stomach muscles. I'm like, but dude, that's the only thing that's there. Well, of course, there's gonna be some muscles there. Ain't nothing else around
karate.
Ain't nothing else around it. So of course they're gonna peek out a little bit. But no, I know. You know, I've checked on both of you. I've checked on you more. I'll hit you up every now and then, ask you how you doing and everything. So I know that David has been, going through the battle with you, and I know that you've made him leave the house a couple of times because I would see him out and he'd be like, man, Adrian made me leave, because she knew that I needed to get away. So, both of you, I think both of you are supporting each other really well through this thing. So
I'll tell you this. This man gets up maybe like 4 o'clock in the morning because we got a new puppy, and the only reason why the puppy's there because of me, and I'm sorry sometimes, The puppy gets up and he screams 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I know all the kids in the house hear this doggone puppy, but David is the one that gets up with the puppy. And he'll come truck us back to bed and get back in the bed, and then he'll wake me up to go to work. And then once I go, he helps me down the stairs because I can't walk him down the stairs by myself. I can walk everywhere else, but the stairs are still my nemesis right now. So he'll wake up, all right, babe, help you down the stairs, and then once I get down the stairs, you good? I'm good. Throughout this entire journey, I have a car, I have a 2020 Hyundai. And I'm proud of my Hyundai, I got my car in February of 2020, and I got diagnosed in November. So for a whole year, my brand new car sat in the garage. I was determined to drive my car again.
So now it's a 2021.
It's still a 2020, but yeah.
right,
It still got about 13,000 miles on it.
2021 now. Yeah. So you got a 2021 Hyundai.
your car actually gained value.
Yeah, you're the only person that called gain value.
No miles. Yeah.
But throughout all that, I begged the doctor to let me drive. So shout out to the doc, that said I can drive 2 hours every day because as much medication I need, you don't want nothing to happen. So I drive my little 37 minutes to work, my little 37 minutes back, and anywhere else, I'm being chauffeured. So for me to come here tonight, David had to bring my son to my job so he could drive my car back and he could drive me here.
But I gotta tell you something. You mentioned something. I've been listening a lot.
What's that, baby?
Yo, you said you was a soldier, right? You was in the army, right? Mm-hmm. So that's all you need to know. Is that's it. You a soldier. So ain't no battle too big.
At all.
Ain't no battle too hard. And then you got a bunch of soldiers behind you.
No task too
so
tough.
You don't exactly.
No task too
so
tough.
I don't want to see you crying about this no more.
I can't cry.
Right.
I can't cry.
Cause plus you're from New York, so you already know Brooklyn.
From
We
New
outside. I'm sorry. 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 I'm
No.
sorry. I'm sorry.
We just wanna,
Just like my
want-
brother from another mother over here. You know?
We outside.
I just wanted you to have that moment to give props because I know it's those kind of things take the village.
Oh
You want
yeah.
to make sure you had a chance to acknowledge.
It's
that village
rough.
support.
I don't want you guys to think that because I laugh and smile that I'm making a mockery out of this.
Hell no. That's what you're supposed to
No,
do.
you're showing the fight.
Yeah.
You're being an example,
Yeah.
and we're extremely proud of you. And you know, I'm just meeting you tonight, but you have been an inspiration just in that brief moment. Not just the battle that you're fighting yourself, but then you still continue to help fight, you know, another battle that's going on in the society. You know what I mean? And for you to still have that focus, you know, as opposed to just worried about self, you still giving back. So that's
I'll tell you this
honorable.
as well. So, like I said, I work for a retail phone
Angelo
company.
about to make me cry. So somebody get a napkin because we all about to cry. That was deep.
So I work for a retail phone company, and there was a many stores and employees that were affected by Hurricane Ian. And so the company asked for volunteers to go down to Florida, you know, until they work in the stores. And so we have like this group chat, you know, for the company. And I was like, I want to go. And they were like, why do you want to go? I'm like, why not? I want to go. And so I talked to my husband about it, and he was like, you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah. I was like, all right. So they signed me up and gave me a plane ticket. I went on down there. And the director of the business department took us out to dinner, and he was like, why do you walk with a cane? So I told him, you know, my story. And he was like, you're going through treatment right now? And I said, well, not at this very second, you know, my treatment next week. But yeah. He goes, so why are you here to help out? I said, why not me? I said, right now I feel good. If I can help anybody while I'm feeling good, I want to. I don't want to look like what I'm going through. These people don't have a home right now. I can at least work in their store. I can at least show up for them. You want me to review your bill? I can do that. You want me to troubleshoot your phone? I can do that. I'm not doing a whole lot, but let me do what I can do. Don't treat me like I'm sick.
Powerful.
That's a fact. You know what's so deep that you said that? I was having a conversation with one of my brothers, and we were talking about the purpose of life. And if you walk through this earth and you don't help nobody, then you're just wasting your life. Because you're supposed to leave nuggets and jewels with people as we walk along the way. You understand? And if you're doing that, then hey man, you leaving your legacy.
That's it.
And kudos to you and shout out to you.
Thank
And
you.
keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Because we outside.
We outside.
Yeah.
All right, JT, go outside. What's your next one, brother?
We got topics.
Oh, we got a topic. You know what's about. You know,
Okay,
it's about,
okay.
It's about your boy. You know, you and Ascot been talking about it all week. So you know.
Talked about the new president. If we talking about Kanye, let's do it.
So you know we're going to get into it. You know, and basically
Maximum, you can talk at any time.
out a couple of simple baseline questions that I'm hoping, you know, and just in regards to him, period, and everything that is doing, his movements and everything. So,
Prophet.
you know, questions that I had is, did you hear what he said? I mean, did you really hear what he said? Also, I asked, is there another message within his movements that some of us are not willing to see because his movements are different? And I think that is happening, where people are they're so blown away that he could do this and lose sponsorships that they're not taking the time to listen to some of the stuff that he's saying. I some of the stuff that he's saying, I get it, but I still want to know what his plan was. I still don't understand, because of what we were saying last week, we were saying that he had a plan, but then he was actually going to other people trying to get picked up again. So I'm still trying to figure out, did his plan go wrong?
Nah,
or something like that?
Real
That's the
quick,
media.
before you answer, I just want to address one thing. Number one, fans to ask your guest if she has seen her story to her congressional representative and to the president. Said President Biden's son had cancer and died of brain cancer, and he's working and he's doing different programs for people fighting. So she just want to make sure that you, if you haven't done it, to make sure you send that to your representative and Because your story needs to be heard.
Thank you.
And then everything that went wrong
That's
You silenced me.
We gotta
and
get
that's
to that
hard.
bag. That lawsuit gotta come.
Yeah, and you know,
That's deep.
You
the
sue
lawsuit
them.
is a part of it, but the what led to even the need for a lawsuit needs to be heard.
Absolutely.
It needs to be addressed
so that
And
people can look
you
forward,
all-
can look for that type
I
of
definitely agree.
behavior.
Number one, that you all need to make that story known.
I also have a petition on change.org to get hospitals, doctors, and insurance companies to remove the age limit for colonoscopies altogether. There should not be an age limit. I think that when people go to the doctor for their yearly exam, a colonoscopy should be in there. And it should be free, just like every other test. Should be free, should be covered.
Dwayne
As long as it's a
got it
little
up
tool
on the screen now.
Not the finger that was told.
All right, but go
You
ahead.
should be asleep.
I want to get that out. Number one, thank you
Thank
for
you.
that. I want to make sure that was addressed.
So we talking Jesus right now.
Yeah,
Mac,
so-
you ready for this one? Man? I know you ready.
So go ahead in regards to the plan.
I think that Kanye strategically has done everything that he's doing right now. I think it was well thought out. I think that he's really creating a movement against the machine, which we have never seen. And when I say against the machine, he's going at their pockets. He's going to all of them, letting them know that you're nothing without us. And I think that everything that you see him doing, if you go 3 weeks before, this all happened with the drink champs and everything. And I sent you guys the video. He was talking about he needs to get out of these handcuffs and these shackles and these deals. And when all this happened, he got out of those contracts without him breaking the contract. So
Okay, well, with that, let me ask you this: why did he go to? Was it Adidas that he went to? Skechers. Because I'm sure they got handcuffs and shackles too. Why did he go there looking for a deal?
Because there's other companies that are all talking to Kanye right now. So wasn't that he just went to them for a deal? It wasn't that.
Okay.
Because we got to make sure that we know, we can't just throw something out the window if we don't have all the full facts. Like there's a lot of companies right now willing
Why
to
did
work
he
with
go
him.
to Skechers
Because
for a deal if
Skechers
he wanted
probably,
to get out of the contract?
I
situation?
cannot answer that
So
question.
that's the part that I'm trying to figure out.
Well,
What
let
was
me-
the plan?
He's got
let
a
me-
full
let
plan.
me
Oh,
just
you went
from-
back to JT. He got a full plan.
From a business standpoint, if what you're saying is accurate, from a business standpoint, he owns his brand now. So if he went to another company, he would go in there with total control.
Ooh.
So if that's the
Jesus.
case, once you own your own brands, like owning your own masters. Once I own my masters, I can take that. I can take that anywhere.
Talk to them,
I
Lo.
mean,
okay,
if-
but-
What I read,
Well,
I
can
thought
I
he
say
only
this?
owned-
I think that we only know about the Skechers situation because they want us to know about it. I mean, if you turned them down, there's no need to announce that he even came in the building. What is the point? What do you gain by telling people that you turned him down? Because ultimately we didn't know he was going to go there. We didn't know he was going to do it, and him doing it, they're putting out that information.
what you gain is to be a part of this propaganda they trying to.
I agree.
Okay.
But to me it shows that what he's saying is true.
I'm not
And-
saying that
'cause-
what he's saying is not true. I'm just trying to figure out if it's true. Why go back to them?
Well,
is
no,
what I'm trying
but
to
let,
figure
let me
out.
say, let me say this: the difference within fashion, the biggest thing is distribution, right?
Is what?
Is distribution, being
Okay.
able to produce and design and ship your product, right? And the only place they produce things are mainly overseas. They don't have factories in America that mass produce sweatshops. Yeah, correct. Okay, clothing. So because these places are overseas, the places that they are control the market. So when he's saying the Arnos and things of that such nature, they are in control of factories in Europe that produce every designer's clothes, from
But-
the Louis, the Gucci, the Dior, the Chanel. They all are produced in the same factories. not only are they all produced in the same factories, they control it. They can say, yes, we're going to produce this. No, we're not going to produce this. Yes, we can. You can use our house. No, you can't. You can't use our distribution. All these things. So what happens is, if he wants to mass produce things where he shows that he can show the sales data that I can sell $1 billion worth of clothing, I have to have a distribution to distribute $1 billion worth of.
So the answer is he went to them to have distribution.
Because they have a monopoly on it. There's nowhere else you can go and do it.
Right.
China.
That's
to
what he
go
went
to them.
for distribution. We went
Correct.
along with it, but that's the answer. He went
Correct.
to. That's
And
all
most
I
of those
wanted to know.
companies, they
That's what I
produce
wanted
their
to know.
stuff in China anyway. So if in the back deals, Kanye's making deals with everybody. So he's not by himself. So it's not like he's out here being outspoken at the point because he has backing. He knows where he's going with it.
No. Now let me say this, Sean. He only has his own money right now. He doesn't
I was
have
about
any
to say, I
backing.
don't know how much
Yeah,
backing
he got,
he
but I mean, he's got a lot of people. There's a lot of people backing Kanye right now. That's just not saying nothing. But he's got a lot of people backing Kanye.
If they're not saying nothing, then how
They're not backing him.
Yeah, I mean, they scared. I mean, like he said,
Then they're not
half of
backing
y'all.
him.
Well,
They're not
they
backing
on the
him.
low. They
Agreed.
See, this is what I'm saying. I promise you, I listened to some of the stuff. I didn't listen to all of it because I ain't no big Kanye dude. I mean, he said what he said way back when, and we as black people didn't say a damn
Said
thing.
what he said, and that's what he
We
said.
went
That's
out
what he
there
said.
and bought all his clothes and kept buying his music. Ain't nobody say nothing. Now he says something against another group of people, and they put him in this place the way we should have did back then.
What are you talking about? Like back then, you should have put
So-
Kanye in his place. Like, with what?
when he said the stuff about slavery was a choice.
But
I mean, but you understand that? Hold on, wait. Do you understand?
Did you get mad?
No, I didn't get mad.
Why?
Because really listen to what he meant. He didn't mean that you being a slave. He said the mentality of slavery was a choice. You got 400 of us and one master. How we letting him? How you letting a master control you when we could overpower him?
Hey,
you got to look into the whole. But you can't just take insert.
A lot of people can say I'd have slapped the shit out of
Nah,
master.
but you can't just take
out of master. They can say that today.
Correct.
A lot of people can say that today.
But-
Right.
But back, you wouldn't slap the shit out of master back then. It just wasn't happening.
But let
Why
me say this, JT. That's not even what the context text of what they were talking about either. All right, they made a statement about he's saying that we were still mentally enslaved and we're still enslaved to this day.
That's what he's talking about.
So let me say this. He didn't say that. The conversation was talking about that, and he said sarcastically, "Wow, that sounds like a choice, bro." Like, and not to say that what he said or it was the right time to do it. What he said was he was trying to be sarcastic, and he explained that several times. And when he said it, it sounded sarcastic to me. All right, I'm an individual.
What you're
So-
saying,
Yeah,
what,
nah,
what
I
he
don't
said
agree.
initially, but
Yes.
then he doubled down on it because he was trying to
But
be arrogant.
Yes, but,
All right.
I'm not saying that.
Now, let
Agreed.
me just chime in real quick. He said that to be arrogant, and he ran with it. He doubled down on it. All right. Now, I'm just gonna say, because this is what's been crawling up my spine about this whole thing. I don't care nothing about what Kanye's doing. I don't. I don't care nothing about what they're doing to Kanye. I don't. What I care about is the shucking and jiving Negroes who
Correct.
are supporting what they're doing to Kanye.
Correct.
I'm with you.
That's my whole issue right now.
We with
These
y'all.
shucking and jiving Negroes who are falling back and going against Kanye. They had Aaron Donald, some of these football players dropping the Donda Academy. All these black folks who are running from Kanye now. But you didn't run from Kanye when he made the statement about slavery as a choice. You didn't do anything, didn't say anything when Kanye talked about George Floyd didn't die from a knee on his throat. You didn't say anything. The black folks didn't cancel him. Kanye, after he said slavery is a choice, Kanye made another $1 billion.
Right.
Black folks didn't say nothing. So why is it that these black folks, now that he said something so-called said something against the Jews, that
Actually,
now all the black folks are running and pulling themselves. Now they're running back from Kanye. Now you're doing it.
Correct.
So it's like our black folks are falling to the same pattern as the white people. We don't support our own.
Nope.
We don't fight for our own, but we'll fight for them. We're fighting their fight. This ain't our fight.
It's a fact.
If he said something, if they felt he said something anti-Semitic, why black folks fighting for it?
We should all be easy.
This is not our fight.
Correct.
They don't join in on our fight.
That's a fact.
They don't.
When he said slavery was a choice, when he said George Floyd didn't die with a knee, that's when the Jews didn't come say, oh, we got to cancel him for that. They didn't come to our defense.
Nah.
So why are we coming to their defense? That's my only problem. I could kill us about what Kanye doing. I kill us with the Jews, but why are we fighting for them?
Because we brainwashed, like he said.
That jump
you moving
bothers
in.
me so bad.
Check it out.
He
You know, the most
moving in the
important thing that my man Ye said is that we are the children of Israel. We are the 12 tribes.
Correct.
We come from the blood of Christ. That's the most important thing that he said right there, because that right there is good. And in terms
That's
of the
what upset
choice,
them.
going back to Deuteronomy, you know, in terms of we the children of Israel, we were given, the choice was the blessings or the curses.
Okay.
The blessings were, you know, we would rule this planet if we were to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. But we didn't. So the choice was we took the curses which were poured upon us. What are the curses? We will be sent back to Egypt again and shipped, which is modern day Egypt, this Babylonian construct.
Correct.
If you look at the dollar, the pyramid in the back, you know, there we will be sold unto our enemies. Which
Correct.
is, you know,
Which are
the white
the
man and all that.
Europeans,
And,
yeah.
you know, we would depend upon them for, you know, food, sustenance. Like, all of this is written in the curses of Deuteronomy. And that was a choice that we made as a people, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously. We did that. And now we've been paying for the price for that. We all know that there's some curses going down because, you know, the condition of our people, how we're living, you know, the suffering, the genocide, you know, the fact that, you know what, we are powerful. And we know, like my man Pat, you were telling me, he was holding himself down with those 5 whatever violators, colonizers. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the power within us. And why wasn't we able to take, you know, 400 of us and one slave master? Why weren't we able to overtake that? Once again, going back to those curses, putting us in this position, you know, that has kept us in a slumber. So right now, my man, and talking about the slumber and the waking giant, the awaking giant is us. Because this whole
Correct.
thing has been based upon us. You see, the children of Israel have been the battery behind all of these civilizations.
Correct.
You know, whether you're talking about Egypt, Babylon, you know, them, the Greeks, the Romans, we were the battery behind those in terms of our creativity, in terms of, you know, our labor, in terms of our blood, sweat, and tears, everything that we do, everything that we bring to the table. Like this country right now, as we start waking up, it's crumbling. You know, right now it's beginning to crumble in our face. So my point is, in terms of Ye, the biggest thing he did, you know, was bring up the fact of who we are. Because as our people awaken to who we are, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. And I'm going to say this too, in terms of, because the 12 tribes of Israel, according to the understanding, is the African American, is the Latino, and the indigenous. You know, the 10 tribes are the indigenous and the Latino. And those first 3 tribes, Judah, which is the African American, Judah is the African American. You know, so when Judah is the head tribe. You know what I'm saying? So, and guess what? Like, you see hip hop. We were talking about that earlier. Hip hop is all over the planet. You know, hip hop is something that we created out of nothing, which is the idea of creating something out of nothing, is that magic, is that power of creation. Going back to the, you know, in the beginning it was the Word, and the Word is God. You know, the way we use words, you know, to manifest, you know, to create something that, you know what, right now you got kids in China, Japan, all over the planet trying to be us.
Sure.
You know, trying to be Judah. You know what I'm saying? Which is, once again, the African American. So definitely, I think that what he did, what he's doing is revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? And it's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Forget about the business element, which is awesome. Forget about all the other things. The truth of the matter, we got to stay focused on what. Because look, now my man Kyrie Irving, I'm not even into basketball.
That's right.
All of a sudden now my man, he's standing up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And now what's gonna happen is, and they already tried to shut him down, but they realized, oh snap, if we try to shut him down, then another one's gonna pop up.
They coming.
You know, exactly. It's gonna be like a
Kanye
tsunami.
started a movement.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
But I don't disagree with that. But my concern goes back to what I said a minute ago, is that we as a people don't support that. We run from it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We run from it. You haven't heard one basketball player come to Kyrie's defense, and they're not. You know, the NBA has 30-something teams. Over half of them are owned by Jewish owners.
Yeah.
Over half of them.
Not over half. 95% of them. Same as football teams. 95%.
That's over half.
Yeah, and then let me say this too, and like what he's saying, Deuteronomy 15 on. Read that, and you'll see everything what he's saying is put in the text, plain as day. We love the Bible so much. Let's use it for our good. Deuteronomy 15 and on. It will tell you everything, like you said, the plagues, the tribes. It'll explain it to you because they took the majority of it out of the Bible, but that is still in there. All right. Two, what I'll say about the Kanye thing, right? We are our own worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? We say he hasn't said this, but what most people don't realize is, like I said, he is a musician. You know, he's a composer. He's said this, I want to say like 4 albums ago. So I don't know how many years or how often he puts out an album. Let's just say he puts one out every 2 years. So if he said it 4 albums ago, which was the first album he was with, when he was with Kim Kardashian, you know, and he came out with a song called New Slaves. If you listen to the lyrics, they are the exact same thing that he is saying today.
Right, Kanye been
You know what I'm
talking about
saying?
this in all his
you know
albums.
What I'm saying? And not only just all of his albums, when he did the press run, he said it on the Breakfast Club and several other platforms. It just didn't sound as bad as it sounded this time. And what I will say, like I said about the White Lives Matter shirt and this situation, it's funny how in that situation all we focused on was White Lives Matter and the front of the back of the shirt. We never focused on the front of the shirt. And then in this interview, the Drink Champs interview, all we focused on was him saying, but in the documentary, George Floyd's death was also aided by fentanyl. Exactly. So let me say this. We choose to pay attention to what we want to pay attention to. We can sit back and gain more knowledge by being quiet, not saying anything, and listening to it. Now, the biggest thing I think Kanye's problem is he has a problem with articulation. He has a problem with explaining himself when it comes to certain things. So when he's in an interview type setting with a journalist who has a script and has a producer that is feeding them information to ask him, they will stir and move him towards certain conversations, as opposed to, like you said, the thing about the 12 tribes of Israel was crazy was on the Fox News interview, they took it out. They played the whole interview. They took this specific information out. And if you never went and researched it and seen the whole interview on another platform, you wouldn't have heard it. So when he said it in Drink Champs, they said it was okay. It wasn't until our people got uproared about the George Floyd comment that they took it down. So now we can't hear the whole interview and get the whole spectrum that Kanye put out there, because the interview was a whole 3 hours.
Now the Jewish people took that down.
I'm not. But let me say this: they had a right to take it down because we were outraged about it.
Does that mean? Yeah, you're right. They took it down.
The Jews took it down.
I understand. They took it down.
Right.
But since the whole 3 hours he's said some great things, does that mean that we don't pay attention to that part?
But the problem is,
yes or no?
We do pay attention to it. How we let me say this: how we choose.
We are paying attention.
No, let me say this: if you choose to not hear in the documentary the first thing he said, and then you only hear that George Floyd died. Hold on, let me
But
say
listen,
this. Hold on,
if
let
you
me finish.
listen to the whole interview,
Let me finish.
Do you not listen to the? Do you look because the rest of it was good? Do you?
So let me say
just
this. So let me
that
say this.
We don't have to worry
so
about
let
that
me say
part?
this.
Yes or no?
Was
See, that shock
fentanyl in the
value is
system?
a
Was
message.
fentanyl not in the system?
I didn't
So-
he didn't
so-
speak a
so-
lie, though,
so was-
JT.
was
that
fentanyl
wasn't a
not
lie.
in the
George
system?
Floyd,
Yes.
George
It was.
Floyd had fentanyl in
In
the
his
system.
system.
But
hold on.
From what I heard,
Yeah.
from what and again, I wasn't there and I hadn't listened to the whole interview, and I probably won't. I'm just being honest with you because I didn't know the motherfucker's name was Ye. That's how much attention I pay to Kanye, because I thought his name was Kanye.
But that's
I didn't know
another genius
I didn't know
move.
what his sneakers was because the old girl was sitting here the other day and she had. Until the other day, they ugly as hell. I didn't know what they was.
These are
That's probably why I
gorgeous.
didn't know.
Gorgeous.
Really, they have some ugly sneakers. I'm not
They
saying
gorgeous.
that they don't pay.
Gorgeous.
They ugly.
gorgeous.
I mean, they are. Let's face that.
Y'all wildin'.
But what I'm saying
Wildin'.
is, if out of 3 hours, if everything that you said was great, but then there's one thing that you said was bad, do you now not pay attention to the bad part? But you can still pay attention to the good part. But do you not pay attention to the
I
bad
don't
part?
see how's it being
but how's it bad? Like,
Because you're
what he
stating
said.
a fact that did occur. And see, this is what happened. I have, like I said, I've always been different about George Floyd, but don't canonize a man that basically lived his whole life in crime ridden. Now, the only good thing that came about it, it brought about police brutality, put a spotlight on it. But that was part of the situation when he passed. He had fentanyl in the system.
What does that
So-
matter though? Because I
No,
take
I'm not
fentanyl,
saying
but I'm
it
saying,
doesn't matter.
what does that matter
But
though?
Does not matter.
it doesn't matter. The crime, the boy is in jail. They did it. But what he's saying is he put a fact out there, and we're acting like he spoke out against God. He just put a fact that actually was out there. And a lot of times, as a people, what we do, we want to take in the people we should, look up to and elevate. We don't, but the man didn't have to be elevated. The incident was atrocious, horrendous. The man should have gotten more time, but hey. But the fact is, don't canonize somebody where people looking at like this guy, he did something special. No, he didn't do nothing special. He was wrong. He was murdered. Okay?
But
he is nobody to look up to.
But check this out. This is an example right here because look, all of this. You said a 3-hour interview, and that whatever 1 minute soundbite is taking all the attention. It's like throwing the baby with the bathwater out. Look, the whole conversation right now, we were talking about children of Israel and what the real message is. And look, now we're going to go straight into George Floyd.
Correct.
And now we're going to dive into that. And before you know it, we're forgetting all about what's really going on.
Sure.
And we're going to be just focused on that, which is what they want, because they want us to be living off of, basically our soundbite. You know what I'm saying? It's just
That's
a
a fact.
soundbite.
100% correct.
And you know what? And it's not us that focus on it. Who's to say that they were the ones that put that soundbite out there just to divert these I was
That's what he said.
These folks like to co-opt and divert our attention.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's all.
But that's what Kanye been
Period.
saying. Like at the end of the day, even when you talk
mean,
about the White Lives Matter T-shirt, I sent it in our group text,
And it's
right?
actually-
I said,
and it's
what I
actually
said,
owned by two
But
black
I
people.
said in that text when he was in Paris and he spoke. If you watch the 20-minute interview, he spoke about the White Lives Matter T-shirt. Why he did that.
Yeah.
It would be a whole different conversation because it was more of a sarcastic thing. It was more of a thing that, I'm watching a lot of white people run around with Black Lives Matter shirt and they don't care about black people. These are his words verbatim. So he said, I'm going to return the favor to you and I'm going to wear a White Lives Matter t-shirt. And then on the front of it, but at the end of the day, we took it, right, on another way. Oh, White Lives Matter, you trying to denounce the Black Lives Matter movement. No, but the Black Lives Matter movement, if you sit down and look at the whole movement, it wasn't really about us.
We know it's BS.
Right, so if you know it's BS,
I know it was.
I know it's BS, right? Why are we mad at him and not realizing his ingenious with the sarcasm? He like, you want to run around with Black Lives Matter t-shirts, so I'm going to run around with White Lives Matter t-shirts and tell you shut up. Why? He said it out his mouth. But the problem is we take inserts, like they said, and he said the media controls the black voice. It controls our voice. It controls what's
that's
said,
true.
what comes out, and what us as black people, what we do instead of standing behind each other, right? We jump on their side.
exactly. Because you know what? This is like it's like
Which
it's
is
like,
worse?
You can get the mic eventually. We'll give it to you. Y'all can talk.
Okay.
Give it to you.
But the sad thing to me is that Kanye brought up something that's been going on for years when the Lost Scrolls in Israel
It's a fact.
brought the Ethiopians over to Israel. And as soon as they started looking at it and their elders put their actual eyes on it, the first thing they did was villainize the Ethiopian Jews. They weren't put into like the other camps like everybody else was. They took the Ethiopian Jews and put them way outside of Tel Aviv. And then as soon as the crime started occurring, because they had them in like a fishbowl, then they're the only people that Israel has ever offered free plane tickets back to where they were to leave Israel.
Right.
And they've never, you never hear, it was a big thing, oh yeah, we're bringing over our Ethiopian brothers, which a lot of people say that was a loss.
And
Yeah.
you can tell them what you study, and you tell me if I'm incorrect. The Jewish people, not Jews, the Jewish people, they are coming out, and a lot of them are coming out in Kanye's defense.
Yeah.
Because they saying that at the end of the day, if Abraham was alive, he would want to sit down and have a conversation with Kanye to find out why are our brothers and sisters going through this. Because to be Jewish, you got to be 1% black. And y'all could Google that, and you could tell me if I'm incorrect.
And that goes back to
You
the
study
Moorish
this.
times
Go.
when the Moors overran Europe.
Yeah, he can tell you.
And that's what brought Judaism
And-
all through,
right.
Europe. And so that's something that Europeans wanted to now deny and denounce to this day.
So now I'm canceled before I even blow up, but it's all right, dog.
Well,
I
quick
support
nugget
Ye.
before Ben speaks. An interesting twist is Adidas, named after Adolf Dacier,
Exactly.
who was a Nazi.
Exactly.
If that's not the
they had one
epitome
pair.
of
Don't
anti-Semitism, I don't know what is.
You had a pair back in the days of Run DMC.
Reebok.
Okay, I only have one pair now.
Adidas was
Yeah,
formed,
but back in the
was
days,
created
you rock.
I didn't know this back in the day.
I love Adidas.
Adidas was
Adidas back in the day was all day I dream about sex.
But Adidas,
That's what it was back
Shell
in the day.
toes, shell
but it's
toes.
named after Adolf Dacier.
Right.
We didn't know that back then.
And they just lost $1.5 billion having to pay Kanye $500 million in his contract because they broke the contract.
Go ahead, Ben.
Whew. First off, how y'all doing? Millennial Coalition here. I know we normally get a lot of hate. I heard y'all through the door out there, so I decided to walk in.
Brought you on in, didn't
It did, Kanye bait. Clicked me right on in. First off, I love evolution in the conversations and Classic Conversation. I like how you start off, and I like how we branch off, and I definitely love the evolution of conversation, period. Definitely, I want us all to remember about duality and understanding that when you see both sides of the spectrum, you're at a higher platform of understanding. So it's like when we're reaching across the aisle when it comes to politics and stuff like that, it's the same concept. So I think the name of the book is The Kabbalion. I think it's called The Kabbalion. It's like the Hermetic Principles, and it talks about pretty much everything we're talking about now. It's talking about the principles of duality, understanding gender roles. It's talking about everything that Kanye is even talking about. I just want to make sure that us as a people, everybody in this room right now and everybody that's listening, that we understand that it starts with us.
Talk to me, Ben.
It starts
Talk
with
to
us.
me.
Like, even though we might have differences of opinions, and I'm gonna have to take this from Malcolm X, once you come into a room with like-minded people, you leave all that other shit at the door.
Talk to me.
Because we start getting to a point of solutions instead of problems. And so the thing is, once we start getting to the solutions, there's really shit that they can tell us. Because if realistically, I think we talk about this all the time, we are their moneymaker. We have made America. We're the greatest marketing scheme on the planet. Ain't shit they can do without us.
Still paying them to this day.
Like, exactly. To this day.
We gotta applaud that man.
And see, the thing is, it's not just Kanye. It's not just Kanye. It's just the fact that when a distraction is thrown out, what are we being distracted from?
That is a fact.
Because we can talk about Kanye, but what is it that they're trying to direct us from? Because when that happens, and what's next is going to be the lottery. Think about it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
wait. It's
billions
the
of dollars
same.
off the
We're in the
lottery.
same cycle. It's always we gonna throw a random nigga out there. First it was Jesse Smollett. Around about the same time. I started doing a little history about this. I started thinking, this doesn't make sense. Every time, as soon as it gets cold, how many people die? They start flooding us. They start flooding us with all the tragedies they can give us at one time. Then make us do this. Go against each other. Pop, 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 pop. Then, you know what? Let's give these niggas some hope. Flood our markets again, because we know you got the money to pay for this ticket. 1.5, 1.7. We might get to 2-point-something billion. The highest ever in lottery.
While they making billions.
Why they out here doing what the fuck they want to do? They're literally probably out here, and I'm pretty sure we in World War III getting ready. I'm pretty sure. We know that.
Yeah, we spent $250 million.
Russia ain't gonna tote the ass with.
Oh, well, but
Yeah,
see,
we spent
and don't get
$250
me on
million
Russia, 'cause
on anti-nuclear vaccinations.
Yeah, right. Oh, somebody calling? But yeah, then we are in DEFCON 3. We're literally at a brink of war. And the point is, they don't want us to feel neglected. So they use what they normally use. Us. Every single time. One, it keeps the world at like, well, that's what America gives you, entertainment. We don't give shit else to the world but entertainment. You can't tell me one thing they buy from us. You don't go to Europe and see them driving a Ford truck. They don't give a fuck about GMC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they see us, I guarantee if any one of us go across the water, they think we're a celebrity immediately.
It happened when I went to
Or
China.
athlete, or some
Yeah.
type of actor. You got to be something because you're black and over here. Because that's all we know from y'all. So I just wanted to just say that while we're in this room, let's come up with a solution. We ain't got to do it on air, but some shit happening. I don't know what's happening, and it's the same
Something
cycle.
happening.
I'm personally tired of it, and I know y'all tired of it. Oh, we got a phone call? All right.
Yeah, but something
200 for one, Alex.
Nah,
ain't got it up there today.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Mark Chan. Actually, my cousin is sitting right next to you, Adrian Stearns. That's who told me about the podcast today.
That's what's up.
And I just wanted to just first of all commend you guys for what you're doing, and I just wanted to share a little bit of input that I've seen, because I too have been researching some things as far as, you know, us as a culture in itself, and some of the problems that we face and obstacles that we cannot get over. And I mean, I watched a One Piece Dr. Ray Hagan, and this is where I get it from, because in the piece, I think it's Cy Netter, he's talking first. And he's saying that, you know, it's embedded in us to be jealous of each other, to be just hateful towards one another. Because when we were slaves, that's what they had us do. They made us beat our own brother. They made us beat our own mother. They made us do things to each other to instill that hate in us. So I feel like that's still going on today, because there's always some type of jealousy amongst each other, our own people. And I myself, you know, I speak. I have some brothers here that we actually talk on it from time to time, and you know, we're just trying to figure out ways that we can do something about it.
Totally agree, brother.
Can I offer one solution that I love, and I want to commend you for this, Lo, and I want to tell you that I look at you as a mentor, but conversations with your teenager after school. I literally start doing. I've always talked to my daughter, but I've done it like how you done it. Like, man, tell me something y'all going over in school that I would normally never hear. You know what I'm saying? And she's 11. She just turned 11 last Friday, and she gives me something. And I've been hearing some stuff, and it's just been wild. Like, even like I said, she was trying to explain to me that, you know, decimals. You know what I'm saying? But she couldn't explain it to me. So I told her, I said, write it down and just show me it, and maybe I'll get it that way. You know what I'm saying? So she started going over it. I'm like, oh, decimals. You know, and I'm not good at, I was great at math, but I have to relearn this stuff as she shows me. But as soon as she put it on that paper, I caught it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bow. And I was like, well, baby, this is how we do it. This is how you move. You see them zeros behind it. That's how you count the humps. You know what I'm saying? The little stuff that I learned, I was able to automatically go back to it, but I couldn't do it. I can't normally do it. Like, I can't, like, if she says it to me, I'll be like, go ask your mama. You know what I'm saying? You know, no matter how good at math I was, you know, when she say stuff to me, I just can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't remember math. Now, when she put it on that paper, as soon as she put it on that paper, I caught it. And it was like I was able to give it to her right then and there and feed her, you know what I'm saying, based off of a conversation. And we go over, you know, homework. I go over all that stuff, and you know, but it's still a skim to me because even in their form, it's written out. So it's really easy and plain to see. When she's speaking to me, she has to understand how to articulate it to me, and I can't understand it. So how we can communicate is through pen and paper, and when she puts it down, I can visually see it and I know how to do it, and now we can go on and I can teach her, you know what I'm saying? And through these conversations, I feel like we get teaching moments, you know what I'm saying? She gets taught at school and she gets taught at home. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And the lesson at home has to be more important than the lesson at school. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got out of your conversations. Like the lesson at home has to be way more important than the lesson at school. And you have to do the lesson at home. And I think that we as a culture have to do lessons at home with our kids because this is the things they're losing. You know what I'm saying? This is how we stay connected. This is how we keep them, you know, teach them how to do things because they're not learning how we learn. They're not in the same situations we were in. We come from single parent homes. We can't do it how my mom did it, even though she did an excellent job. But we can't do it like that because now me and my mom and her mother are a family, and we are home, and we are a unit, and it's just way better when it's a unit. It's just way better. Like we can, you know, gloss over all the, you know, and praise single mom. I praise my mom, but I and my family is better as a unit.
Yeah, that's a fact. But the thing is, like what we saying, and when you said articulation, right? I think that we have to, as a people, stop shutting down the simple man, right? The simple guy. The guy that's not going to use his entire vocabulary or say these things in a way that's speaking whatever's King's English and shut him down and feel like his voice should never be heard. And I feel like a lot of us, we went to college. Yeah, I mean, I got 2 degrees, right? We went to school. But if all those words that we have, if no one understands what you're saying, is your message really getting sent across? So we got to stop knocking people for speaking in the way that they speak and try to listen to hear what they saying. And I think us as black people, we do that to each other.
You know, I want to just throw this out there.
Hold on. Go ahead, caller. I know he's trying to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, because in my group, I'm probably that guy, honestly. And I'm not saying that to be funny or anything like that, but a lot of brothers that I do talk to are very articulate. I mean, which I consider myself to be, but I would say they're more knowledgeable than myself because I'm not a big reader, you know what I mean? But I understand life, for one, and I just understand being a great person. And those, I mean, it must be in our genes because I was just sitting here listening to my cousin talk and everything like that. You know, I feel the same way how she does. It's just I'm not in a place right now to where I'm acting on it. But it's definitely an inspiration hearing this stuff right here, and I would like to do more, honestly.
Well, brother,
and hear more from you guys.
That's what Classic Konversations is. It's basically the voice of the common man.
Absolutely.
That's what we are.
And don't ever feel like because someone is articulate that they're more intelligent than yourself. It's not how what they're saying, it's what's coming out of their mouth. And some people are intellectual
and the action
idiots
behind the words.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes. And I agree, and we all agree, and this is great, and I'm a cop.
One thing that I tell
Dwayne, what you said, because I meant to say this to you, but I've been living a long time, so I forgot. I had a conversation with my neighbor, and he's gonna come to the show. Had a conversation with him, and we were talking about, you sitting around drinking, smoke cigars, see a commercial, and you be like, man, that boy got so much money. And we just started talking about stuff like that. So we got on LeBron James, we got on Shaquille O'Neal in regards to how they're doing business and this, that, and the third, and how, I think Shaq made the statement one time that he wants his great grandkids to have the option of being able to work or do this or whatever. Mm-hmm. He was, in regards to what Dwayne was just talking about and what you're doing with your son now, we have to start teaching the younger ones about the business side of things. The way to own. He was talking about how people like LeBron and Shaq, even though their kids follow them on basketball, but he still should be teaching them how, because let's face it, most of them learned at a late age. So he's saying that we need to start teaching them of how to own or navigate through the business side of things at a young age, so that when they get up, these type of things, say like Kanye is going through where he got to find somebody to do this or do that, you can do it for yourself. I'm just using Kanye. Don't jump on me.
But he doing it for himself though.
Yeah, don't jump on me. Don't jump on me.
I'm ready.
I'm just using that name because that's what they was talking about. But I think that's something. And I thought when he was talking about it, I thought about what you're doing with your son right now. So when Dwayne brought it back up, it popped in my head. But I think that's something that we all need to start doing more of. Let's face it, most of us try and teach our kids to run a football, hit a baseball,
or get a job,
or get a job instead of owning
exactly
and having somebody work for you and help bring somebody else up. That type of deal. We're not. I don't think we as a collective. I know some of us are doing it, but I don't think we as a collective are doing that enough.
You see, like you just mentioned LeBron and Shaq. Like everybody want to be LeBron or Shaq or Kobe or Jordan. Some people want to be the coach in terms of the one that's mastering that, but nobody is thinking of being the owner.
Exactly.
Nobody, and you don't even know the owner's name.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that's giving away Bentleys as a freaking bonus. We don't even know this guy's name, but he's the one that's really in power.
Yep.
Even though we look at Kobe or Bryant or LeBron or whomever, as that person, it's the owner. But I want to throw a little solution out there. I was building with this great grandmother, and she just dropped a jewel on me. She said, in terms of our children, in terms of the situation of us as a people right now, one of the problems we have is that we don't talk to one another. You were talking about communication. You see, because back in the days, we used to sit at the table. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? When we sat at the table, that was our opportunity for everybody to, break bread, to speak. Right. How was your day? What's going on? What you learned? You see, I think, and that was like, wow, that was so brilliant. It was so simple. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't eat at the table, and we don't have that conversation anymore. And then, you know what? And that's like a daily thing because we eat every day. So that's because what she told me was like, you know what? The children are disconnected from the parents. They don't know the parents, and the parents don't know the children.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? So if we were to actually break bread and sit at the table once again, bringing that back into our, it's as a simple practice, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, bringing the family together, I think that would be one good solution right there.
And it's amazing what you
where were
get
you
out
born
of those
again? Where were you
conversations
born?
with your children.
Where were you born again?
Amazing.
Let them know. Where you born?
Born again?
Yeah, where were you born in life?
You know what? I was born in Brooklyn.
Okay, just leave it alone. Let's just. I'm just saying we outside. I always think I'm the only representative. There's more of us. There's more of us. There's a lot more of us right here.
Brooklyn, New York. Where nothing but concrete.
You got to bring it back to Sugar Sean.
I had to bring somebody in.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I'm grateful for, me and my husband, that we do to not only our own children, but we have our 8-year-old nephew that live with us. And every day that he comes in the house, I said, like you said, how's your day? And he'll be like, okay, TT. I'm like, what did you learn today? And if he said, I say, nope, you just wasted a whole day. If you can't tell me what you've learned today, you've wasted a whole 24 hours. So you got to go back to school and tell me what you learned. So he'll finally, TT, I learned this. And I was like, okay, well, why you didn't tell me that in the first place? And now I started doing that with my employees. Because all my employees are the same age as our children, except for one. And I do it to all of them, But one of them the other day totally shocked the mess out of me. He's 21 years old. And this kid, this is probably his first corporate job ever. He's scared to talk to people. So I told him, I said, if you come to work one more time and you can't go and tell this customer how you open up your phone, how you go to this app, are you scared to do that? You owe me 100 push-ups. He goes, 100 push-ups? I can't do a push-up. I said, well, you gonna get strong today. So from that point on, he came back and he was like, Mama A. I said, you don't have to call me Mama. He goes, well, Miss AD, you know, I respect you. I said, well, why do you respect me? He goes, because you're older than my mom. I said, that's not a reason to respect me, because I'm older than your mom. Go figure it out and come back and tell me. He goes, nobody's ever told me. I said, nobody told you to go figure it out? Or nobody told you to think about it? And he was like, wow. Nobody ever told me to go think about it. I said, well, you go figure out a grand reason why you feel like you respect me, and then come back and tell me that. Because I don't want the textbook answer. I want you to really think about it as to why you can say you respect me when you just met me 2 weeks ago.
See, that's a fact. That's Generation X.
Let that sizzle your spirit.
That's a fact.
Go ahead, brother.
Generation X.
Go ahead.
Let them know who you are, man.
Me as an artist, I like to talk in like analogies and make people see things. I always like to use the analogy of talking to our children and the intergenerational disconnect that exists. I like to talk about it in terms of a book. And like the kids are the front cover because they're the pulse of the current society and what is going on right now. And we're the back cover. And the pages in between is the dialogue that we share.
Wow.
You know, I feel like we don't give enough credit to the front cover. That dialogue that separates the front cover and the back cover is very wide. You know, it can be very wide, depending on how deep you are with your children, how much connected that you are with your children, how much you do talk to them. We've recently started eating at the table, like Maximus mentioned. We recently started eating at the table, and I realized even in the silence, when you're not talking, when you're just eating, and everybody's there.
Right.
You get to see each other's faces. You don't know who's gonna come home tomorrow. You never know who's gonna come home. Right. That's a big thing. That, you know, kids being killed at school and different things. You don't know who's coming home the next day. That's a big thing. So when we sit at the table, and even when we just, you know, I'm passing the salad to my son, that's a joy to me to just pass the salad, or you know, us, you know, just being able to, you know, be in each other's presence another day. Absolutely. Because I pray that we make it home tonight. I pray that I make it home. I ask for traveling mercies on the road. I ask to be protected from danger seen and unseen. I ask that God orders my steps, my thoughts, my words. Every day when I'm entering the highway, that's what I pray for. I pray to be able to make it back home to my family. And when we sit at the table, my prayer was answered, and that's a small miracle.
Absolutely.
Every day, that's a small miracle that happens every day, that we all get to meet back up again and sit and see each other again. My 3-year-old, you know, my 3-year-old, I learned so much from my 3-year-old because he just loves to just talk. He just wants to fit everything in one sentence that he's seen, that he's observed. He just wants to get it all out at one time, and he's stuttering, and he's, you know, trying to get it out fast and everything like that, like if we're gonna shut him out. And I looked at that a little bit too, because he's so small that we always overlook him, and something's always more important than him. When he gets a chance to talk, he wants to just blurt out everything and just get it all out, and you know. But I just wanted to say that, you know, there's an intergenerational disconnect that exists, and it's not enough credit given to the front cover. It's not enough credit given to the back cover, from the kids' perspective, given to the back cover, because I look at my son sometimes when he was 7 years old, and I was I was like 35. I said, I've been your age 5 times already. You know what I mean? And he may look at it as a jab, he may look at it as a shot, but it's true that I've seen your life over and over and over again, in many different phases and many different changes, many different spaces. You know what I mean? So we just need to give more credit to the pages that exist between the two covers.
Absolutely.
Hey, bro, that's deep. You know,
And the crazy thing is, he said it's a small miracle, but the way the world is today now, it's a huge miracle. It's become a huge miracle, which is sad, but it's become a huge miracle that we can actually sit at the table and see each other again.
That's real. Des, what state I met you in? What city I met you in?
Oh, here we go.
No, it's a beautiful. It's a me in Queens, but
New York City. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like why would we do that? But you know what's real with what he said though? I had a situation happen this weekend with my son. I was we going back and forth because you know my daughter's going through a lot with this basketball and she's handling it like a queen, boy. I mean, I'm seeing something different come out of her. That she's special. She's strong. Like I asked her, I said, Kennedy, you be crying? Nah, I ain't never gonna cry in front of that dude. And I like, the fire coming out. And me and my son were having discourse, and it got to the point when I was talking, he started talking over me, right? And I'm like, yo, hold on though. That's not how you supposed to do that. Like you know, I'm your dad. Da 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 da. He like, yeah, but I know what you about to say. You said it 5 times already. So for me, I'm like, I know y'all don't believe that, right? Yo,
imagine that.
Word. So for me, I'm like, yo, who you talking to? Let me finish what I gotta say. He said, yo, dad, you just said, all right, just say it again, right? And I got mad. So I got real mad. So me and him driving, and I pull the car over there, he ran to the bushes, jump out the car. Now we gotta fight, right? So, because you think you a man, we gonna fight right now. He locks the door, rolls the window up, and looks at me, be retarded, right? Get back to the house. It's just like my wife was pulling up at the time, and she said, my family looks disjointed. What is going on? Why are you in the middle of the street, right? Gets my son, she takes him, they go off, and her car comes back. And when you said the thing about the pages, right? When he got back to the house, I said, yo, come here, let me talk to you. He said, nah, I'm gonna stand right here. We could talk from right here, because you don't know what I'm
Smart man.
that's that little Brooklyn dude. He like, oh, he's like, I don't know where you about to go, but I need to be in reach, because you my dad, but I might have to put you there. But I was able to say to him, nah, brother. And I said, brother, let me embrace you. And I apologize, King, because we should be able to have discourse. And yo, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? He looking at me like, this nigga high? Like what will he take? But I had to do that to let him know, like, that's my bad. Because I let you knock me off my square when you didn't have, then it didn't even have to go there. Where I could have just sat back and kind of listened more to what you were saying. And a lot of times with my relationship with my kids, I'm learning that, yo, Sugar Sean, shut the fuck up. Right? And get him the stage. I be having to get him mic. I be having to shut up. Like, shit real. And I heard Lo say, I heard the shit. I saw all this that just happened. All this shit that just transpired, I caught that. But I was in the middle of my thought and I was feeling my vibe. But I caught all that shit. I don't keep it up without talking laugh. But I see Lo say, somebody, Lo about to be like, bring your son inside of here. Well, we want you to shut your ass up.
But see, that's powerful.
I had to learn that.
That is
like
powerful.
you learned it at home.
Lo was like, can somebody shut your ass?
There are so many kids, and
I call Lo with
speak
that
about
shit.
this. I have like a 7-minute video on YouTube, No More Hurt Kids, where I say, you know, stop shutting the kids up. Let them talk, because there are so many kids that are trying to tell you something is going on. Somebody's hurting me. Somebody's doing this, but we won't give them the time of day because we feel it's disrespectful. We feel that it's not a kid's place to say this, or you're telling our business. Kids should be seen and not heard. Let them talk.
Yeah, but it just not in the middle of me talking. He cut
Sean
me off.
said what he said.
That's what I said.
What he said was what I said, and that's what he said.
Yeah, that shit.
But that's real, man.
That shit got me.
I learned that my oldest taught me that.
Wow,
Because,
you going through 16.
well, because you know, sometimes we had a conversation and you get loud, and my son said, when I have arguments with friends or whatever, he said, once you get loud, I tune everything out, because you've now lost control. You know what I mean?
That's real.
And I know I've won because I'm still at the same demeanor. That junk sat me down.
Can we get
Yeah, man.
applause?
Because I was like, wow.
And Aspen is that dude. So where he was sitting do just like this.
Yeah. And from that point on, though, I was like, I need to listen more. I need to listen more. Yeah.
Take the mic.
Yeah.
Yo, D, take
Yeah.
the mic. Say what you about to say.
The ratio that God gave us for our face is not in balance. We have 2 ears, 2 eyes to observe more, listen more, 1 mouth, 1 tongue, 1 truth. You know, the serpent's tongue has 2 sides, 2, you know, that's a lie. You know, a lie is 2 words too many. The truth, there's only 1 truth. We were given 1 tongue to speak truth. Right. And there's power in giving 1 word answers, which is, you know, if I ask you, how you doing, man? And you say, I'm fine. I feel like that's a lie because I'm already talking to you. So the I'm is already implied that I'm talking. So you don't have to say I'm. You just say fine. How you doing, man? Fine. I'm fine with fine, man. You know what I mean? I'm okay with fine. You know, but when people try to use more than 1 word, or even if you say I don't know, you do know. You do know what's wrong with you. Right. Somewhere, somehow, some way, some part inside of you is indicating to you and indicating to me that something is wrong. So if I'm asking you the question, search for it first before you answer. Don't say I don't know. Wait for it a little bit, because the truth is 1 word and 1 word only. You know what I mean? Sean asked me why I cut my hair. I had my hair down to my belt, down to my waist. You know, when people know me for a while, they've known I had my hair for 19 years and 3 months, and just 1 year that I've had my hair cut. And Sean asked me, you know, why did you cut your hair? You know, what's up? Why you cut your hair? 1 word is reset. 1 word. And I can stand firm in that word, reset, and be confident in that word, reset. And then the other words can follow once we can have a conversation about what I meant by reset.
Right.
But the truth is reset. That's it. 1 word. 1 word. And I stand firm in that word. You know, because it's coming from my inner being. It's coming from a whole set of events. It's coming from a whole set of things that happened that made me have to reset myself and come back to the form I was in when I was born. So, wow. Reset.
That's deep. Wow. But yeah, I was, wow. I take that to go back to the topic of Jae and our people and what we can do, right? Solutions. And I think one of the biggest faults we have is similar to what you just said. We don't listen. You know what I mean? Now, again, I said earlier, I don't necessarily care what he said. I don't care what they said. I'm concerned about our reactions, our people's reactions, and how we immediately turn on each other immediately. And we do it based on what the media said. We continue to let the media put the propaganda out, and we buy into it. So similar, I said, my son, when you're yelling, everybody's yelling, nobody's listening anymore. And that's why they miss the things that he may have said, because nobody's listening anymore. Because we allow the media to yell, bloody murder, anti-Semitic. We allowed that, and we listened to that part. You know what I mean? But we didn't hear nothing that was actually said. So we missed a lot of things that may have been said. We missed a lot of points that may have been made. We missed, some of that stuff because we don't listen. We just quick to react. We're quick to yell. You know what I mean? And once, like I said with my kid, once I realized yelling ain't the way, now we can talk about it. Once we can talk about it, we get the dialogue, which is what Classic Conversation is. We're trying to just that dialogue. So, in terms of these people, if we as a people would just listen and get the whole facts as opposed to just turning, my issue with us turning on Kanye is not, I felt like we were going to cancel Kanye as a people. We should have did it based on what we felt insulted us as a people. We should have been roaring about, you need to tell us what you meant by slavery as a choice. You need to go back in depth with that. You need to go in depth with the George Floyd. You need to go in depth with that. Tell us about it. You know what I mean? But once we got to the anti-Semitism thing, which he didn't say, I've asked 1,000 people, what did he say was anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I put that on Facebook. Somebody put the same thing up, and I put up there, I'm here for the comments/answers. You know, not one person posted up there.
Cause saying, you know what's the real though?
And that's the problem.
And what we say,
and that's the problem.
I've been waiting for that notification all day.
But we're canceling and we're doing all these things.
Yep.
What was said? What are you angry about?
like you said
So
something.
you're not angry about the other stuff, but this is what you're angry about?
That's a fact. And you said something that was real deep. And was so deep in what you said was when I told you what happened with me, right? When you said the fact of listening. So my wife gets my son in the car and she takes him or whatever. And she tells him like, yo, that's disrespectful. If your dad talking, you gotta know when to fall back and just, let the man speak. So when she gets to the house with me, she says, y'all going back and forth and you upset about him not listening. You listen to what he said. And then she said, what's going on with my daughter? She says, you tell them not to fold under pressure, but you just folded. Man, I had a drink, and that's when we was on the phone for about an hour, and then I called we was talking about a whole bunch of other stuff because they kicked me in my ass. And I was like, damn, that was real. But my wife been with me 24 years. She done seen me through a bunch of stuff. She said, at this stage of your life right now, you're a 44, 45-year-old man. You gotta stop that. And I said, damn, man, like, I felt like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? She said, in essence, you was right, but think about when you was wrong. Mm-hmm. She said, because you can't tell them not to fold under pressure, but when they put you under pressure, you folding.
But the biggest thing you did as a man was to apologize to that child.
Yeah,
I
right
pound
then and
that
When I first apologized to my sons, the look on their eyes was total amazement. Because it's like, Dad, you're apologizing to me? Absolutely. Because what I did was wrong.
Yeah.
That's not how you handle the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that opened up. That's why I can have those conversations with my 14-year-old, you know what I mean, after school. Because once I let them know I can be wrong. As your father, I can be wrong. You know what I mean? And I should listen to you. And that's why I can have those kind of conversations now, and they can open up and we can get as deep as, when I make those posts, because
real.
He's open to conversations. Go ahead, brother.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Pat.
My name Patrick, and I wasn't gonna say anything, but since I was invited, I gotta honor my brother here. He gave me the invite, and you brothers and sisters gave me the opportunity to be here as well. And there's no words in the English language to explain what I heard from you. So, but I know a lot of you brothers can contest this. Well, can confirm this. In warfare, one thing I learned about special intelligence. One thing I learned about in the Army, I think they call it MISO, Mission Information Special Operations. We just call it PSYOPs in the Corps. We keep it simple. But I was always told, if you want to hide knowledge from black people, you put it in a book. But when I went around the world with the Marine Corps and without the Marine Corps, I learned that if you want to hide, because we catching on, it's the information age. If you want to hide knowledge from intelligent black people, because we're at a level of intelligence now, you put it in a book, but you put it in a different language. And so now when you read in the original context, now you got to say, what is the cultural context of this word? My brother here said one word. And so when you read in English, all you see is, what is the name of God? Well, it's an oxymoron. What is the name of God? Is God his name? But when you look in the original language, you see that in the Hebrew, minus the Nakud, in the Hebrew, you have the word Shem there, S-H-E-M. And you older brothers, which are you guys are my elders, Shem means reputation. So when you go to Psalm 64 and they say, do you know his name? What is his name? It's asking, it ain't asking what do you call the creator? It's asking, do you know the creator's reputation? And one thing I notice about all these psychological operations in America is to destroy our reputation. And so wherever we go, the brother mentioned, well, this is the only reputation we know of y'all because this is the only reputation we see. And so what I've learned amongst our people is we know what change sound like, but we still don't know what it look like. And so it's simple.
That's a drop the mic, man.
As a spiritual people, we keep things simple. When you go outside, you say, well, who taught the bird how to build a nest? Right? Do they got a class? Do they got a school? They just know how, right? But it's a series, it's a method, there's an order. And when they took our culture, Torah, which is Hebrew, it's crazy how we all on this, right? Torah means three things. It means law, it means culture, right? And it means book. And so one thing, when they took our culture, they took our law. And then we always say we can't get on code. Well, what is the synonym of code? Law. And all of you brothers know, whether you're from the streets, whether you're from the police force, whether you're from the military, instant willingness to obedience to orders, you ain't moving nowhere together without law. Law creates order, order creates structure. And then the last thing I say is when we was in the Hellman River Valley, Providence, 2008, I was attached to 2-8 Fox Company, SEAL Team 4, and 2-2 Dark Horse, and we had Marsoc out there, and then we had a Ranger battalion, a Ranger connection with us, right? I think they call it like a JTAG guy. One thing I noticed in the Hellman River Valley, Providence, is that everybody was black. Everybody in Afghanistan was black. So they pulled a certain group of Marines back to do what we call QRF, Quick Reaction Force, or Guard Force, to monitor the detainees. Right. And then they left the black Marines on the front, but they never engaged us. And the kids used to call us Adam, 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 Adam is coming. And when you look up the word Adam, you find out that was the original name for Adam, right? Wow. And you find out it means, well, in the English, the Greek call it red. But isn't it ironic when you look at the cultural context that the Hebrews looked at red as the beginning of dawn? The Hebrews looked at red as the first color of baby notices. The Hebrews looked at red as the color of blood. Red clay, a blood covenant with the land. Lastly, Ha'adam, life from the earth. And to me, I start to understand the more we get away from a destructive culture. How come 400 slaves didn't attack the master? Well, we only got one type of story. Because when we look at the Gullah warriors, the Geechee, the Creole, that ain't the story over there. So like my brother say, what are y'all distracting us from? We have a choice. We always have choice. But I can take your choice. I can keep my friends close and my enemies closer because I can teach my enemies how to be me. Because I know how to govern me. So I got to make you think you me. And so when you sit around with special intelligence, what we did, we gathered puzzle pieces. Just like in this room, we sit at the table. My brother got knowledge. He got knowledge. You brothers got knowledge. My sister got knowledge. Sister here, we all got puzzle pieces. We got to sit at the table, put these puzzle pieces together, and show the people a new reputation. Because it's a battle against an image, the reputation. What is our reputation? And that's why I understand why the Most High said in one of the commandments, don't have a graven image before me, because I created you to be Ha'adam, the man, the original man, the black man, and the black woman being one, Ha'adam. It didn't call them a different name. They both were Ha'adam. So that means you are the image of God. So anything other than that, and you defiling your image. The first God people see is the Father. The first God children see is the Father. The first God children see is the mother. And seeing them together, that one balanced force. This is what we never seen. We never seen the black man and the black woman standing together other than when my parents was together, when y'all was together, when they had the Black Power movement, right? The original Black Panthers. So I say lastly, this is just, I ask myself, like, our people know what it sounds like, but what does it look like? Show me. Say go and I'll go there. Show me what I need to do. Because to me, I think we have to plot on the greatest heist in the world. And the greatest heist in this world is how to steal black gold from America. And America's true wealth is the black people.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I'm at a loss for what. See, so I bring the peoples in.
Hey man, that's classic conversations at its finest.
Oh, that's a class. Wow. That was a whole class in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's good stuff.
Oh Jesus! Wow.
Well, it's time to get out of here, y'all. Thank you for having me.
What did he say? I didn't catch that. Say it one more time.
I was going to get off of here. I appreciate y'all having me.
Man. Appreciate the call, man, and the words, brother.
Appreciate you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
I'm speechless for the first time in my life.
Good stuff, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. That's
I'm speechless.
outstanding. So we're gonna go into our top 5 real quick, man. Our top five every week. So top 5 this week. MJ, check this one out. Top 5 cop shows. Listen up, Sean.
I'm sorry. I'm making sure that Mike ain't related
Look,
to.
yo, they're talking about I'm speechless, but still talking.
Still talking.
Hey, I'm speechless.
Top 5 cop shows of all time.
I don't know any because that was so
Your top
profound.
5 cop shows.
Can I start it off?
Police shows, whatever.
Television shows.
Television shows. I'm gonna start it off. All right. Number 5, Cops. I used to watch Cops because I ain't have cable sometimes, and it was the only thing on Fox. All right. So I used to like the commentary, and I used to like hearing them run out of breath. It was funny. All right. Number 4, Law and Order, Criminal Intent. All right. I'm gonna put them in order. All right. Because I love all of them. All right. So Law and Order, Criminal Intent. All right. Number 3, Guilty Pleasure, and it's because my girl watched it. Scandal. All right. I like, and you know,
Olivia
creator,
Pope.
Yeah, Olivia Pope, and the creator was black, so I dig that too. But I didn't. It's things about it I didn't like. I like the case solving part of it. The backstory I hated it, but it made me watch it. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Number 2, and this is a tough one. And I don't know. Well, okay. CSI Miami. All right. I like all the CSIs, but Miami is a little bit different. You know what I mean? I like it the most. All right. And last but not least, my all-time favorite cop show, Law and Order SVU. It's nothing better than Dick Wolf and SVU.
22 years and counting.
And my honorable mention, because I know somebody gonna say it, but I want to say it first, is the original Dick Wolf show, New York Undercover. Boom, boom, boom.
That's mine.
But it was terrible
Acting, right?
acting.
Looking at it now.
Right,
Looking at it like,
it's
man.
terrible. I be trying too, JT.
Like,
I be trying.
I can't believe I was going crazy over this back in the day.
Exactly. I can't believe I was going crazy over this. Yeah. Great.
It was horrible.
All right, who next? One of y'all ready? Top 5 cop shows of all time.
Yeah, television show.
Damn.
All right. In the heat of the night.
Okay. Okay.
Good one. Good one.
You know what? I could see you liking that one.
I did too.
I see you liking that one
tell you
too. I
something.
promise you.
When they come on in the heat of the night. But, shit. 5 cop shows. Y'all know I was born in the 80s, right? All right. Chips.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
one.
21 Jump Street.
Okay.
Whew. Cop shows.
That's 3 times.
I know. I'm gonna say,
If he say shit again, I'm gonna be like, who started that one?
all let's see. I guess I'm gonna have to get with Law and Order SVU because I was watching that with my kids was babies. They be in there solving crimes with me. And number one is my favorite of all time because I thought the cameraman was the fastest person on the show. Cops. Cops was the funniest. I was like, boy, this cameraman fast. But Cops, man, I love when it still come on in the middle of the night. And I will watch that. I don't care what's on. You know? So yeah, Cops, my number one. Whew.
There we go.
Has anybody ever had a relative on Cops and your boys be like, yo, bro, was that you? No, that was my little brother. God damn. Hide in the bushes.
All right, well, since you got the mic, go and give your top 5.
Well, okay, so I got the mic. I'm gonna give you my top 5. Y'all ain't gonna like it, but oh well, here it go. Anybody remember the man called Hawk? Avery Brooks.
Yep.
I love that show.
That was spin.
You know what?
Oh no, he did have his own show.
He had his own show. He was a spinoff. But yeah, I love that show. Me and my mom watched it all the time. Right after she made me watch Magnum P.I. Yep. Had to watch Magnum P.I. in that old Ferrari. And Mr. Huggins, I think his name was, the Dobrins. Then we get number 3. I love me some SVU. I love all of the SVUs. I got into all of them. But NCIS is my number 2. All of them. I sit down, I got my DVR recorder, I go from one NCIS to this NCIS to this. Now, FBI, the new FBI, that shit
dope.
tight.
All three of them. All 3 of them.
Bruh,
Yes.
you might want to check. Bruh, set your DVR on a Saturday, you ain't got shit going on.
Here we go.
Man, listen.
Look, we older. We have more time than you.
Listen, I ain't got a day.
We
my
have more
kids are grown. My
we
kids
have more downtime than you.
Hey, look, JT, my kid's your age. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That part.
All right, y'all ready?
Go for it.
All right, we gotta say Cops, Law and Order, New York Undercover, of course, First 48.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yo,
Hey, Sean, look. I'm gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I be watching. I be like, damn, they caught him with a KFC. That's it. You gonna tell on everybody for some KFC?
That's my show.
Wow.
That's my thing right there.
And then I got some honorable mentions.
You ain't did your 5 yet.
I didn't get my 5.
You got 2 more.
I got 2 more.
Yeah.
Magnum P.I., Batman. Batman, that was a cop show. Word.
Yeah.
And the number 1 cop show of all time is the Fox News.
Fox News.
It's still relevant to this day. And my honorable mention is New York Undercover.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right, I'm going way back on this one, but Hill Street Blues.
Good one.
Ooh, yes.
Good one.
Hill Street Blues, Blue Night, Beretta, Kojak.
Kojak.
And I know y'all said TV shows, but being a cop that's done a lot of that wiretaps and all that stuff, The Wire, hands down, is the best actual from start to finish. The Wire.
It's a TV
hands
show.
down.
It wasn't a movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie. It was a TV show.
Yeah,
But
The Wire.
JT,
Hands down, The Wire is the most realistic, gritty, shows a gritty part of it. The criminal element was well represented correctly. They're not dumb. Yeah, that's probably the best show.
Yeah. Why it was a great
Yeah,
one.
the second one was whack.
Yeah, when
They
they was
came back
out
straight
on
with
the
the
boat,
third.
when they was out on the pier.
That scene was whack.
Yeah, when Mim McNulty became what they call him, a boat cop.
You on the dock?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dock was kind of dry, but if you like
Yeah, bro.
it's realistic to what it is. And I like that because they didn't try to hype shit up this morning. That was realistic. A lot of this shit is boring.
All right, Adrian, go ahead.
My husband gave you all of mine because we watched it together.
So you good. You be like what he said. Yeah. You good.
I do love my First 48. I love my I'm gonna go with another route though. What's his name? Jesus, what's his name?
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I do not watch that.
That's a cop show.
I do not watch that. I will watch Married to Medicine, but I won't watch.
Can't watch none of that.
Walker, the Texas Ranger.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like with some Walker. That would go a different route because I know it wasn't fully a cop show. But Dukes of Hazzard with Roscoe Pico Trey.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I like them Duke boys.
Dwayne said scandal, so Dukes of Hazzard works.
Ski. The Andy Griffith Show.
That's a good one. That's good.
The Andy Griffith Show.
But let me ask, does anybody ever remember Andy actually arresting somebody?
He ain't have to.
No,
Just the drunk dude.
Exactly. But he arrested himself.
The same dude.
It's time me to lock myself up.
All right, okay.
I mean, when you spend 41 days in the hospital, you just pick.
Y'all got cop shows?
What you got? What you got?
Yo, only got one show, Miami Vice.
That's
You
a
know,
good one. That is a
nobody
good one.
mentioned Miami Vice.
But what they watch? What they watch?
It was coming.
What they watch in Columbia? What you got? When they watch in Columbia? Where
It
you
was
at?
coming.
But yo, I'll be honest with you, man. I gave up my TV like 20 years ago.
Oh wow.
So like, I don't even know like CSI and all this stuff. Like, I haven't even seen an episode of none of that. Even
Wow.
The Wire, I haven't even seen an episode of that. You know, so I let go of that because you know the TV is part of that programming, bro. They're programming us through those you know. Even the whole idea of joining the Marine Corps, you know, I realized back in the days, all those movies of Vietnam movies, you know, Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, all these movies that are getting us, like, preparing us for war, you know what I'm saying? Making us G.I. Joe, all that, you know, making us want to be, you know, soldiers, you know what I'm saying? But which is a good thing, but, you know, channeling that warrior energy into the right avenue is where it needs to be, you know?
I wanted to kill shit. That's why I wanted to Marine Corps.
All right, so then I guess leaves me. Okay. Starsky and Hutch.
Okay.
I actually wanted to be a cop because of Starsky and Hutch, and then I actually saw a real cop get shot. I said, you know what? I just want to drive that Gran Torino with that white stripe. That's the only reason I wanted to do it. But then I saw a real cop get shot, and I was like, oh. Damn, they shoot back. I think I'm gonna leave that profession alone.
Message.
I'm gonna leave that profession alone. Yeah, Starsky and Hutch. And y'all have said so many. I got to drop Miami Vice in there, man. Miami Vice was like, and them dudes were so cool. And then they had some nice boats and cars. Philip Michael. Oh yeah, he had the what was it? A Thunderbird that he had.
My college roommate watched Miami Vice every day like I watch Good Times. I'm talking about he watched Miami Vice every single day.
That one was dope. So
That tells you what year you went to college.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how you know what year it was. It was on VCR.
Wow, that's what they had to do. They had to do this.
You gotta. Wow.
Look, for him to say that he watched it every day, I knew it was, you know, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't coming on every day then. So yeah. So Miami Vice. Right now the FBI's all three. I'm saying them as a group. I'm not going to go FBI this one because it's three of them right now. So the FBI's. Number two. Wow, number two.
So you can't be like me and have chemo brain.
I got one. I got one for you. I got one for you.
What you got?
My dad used to always watch this show. I used to always wonder why he just loves this guy so much. Columbo.
Bro, the raggediest cop ever.
The raggediest cop. He'll go around the world to come back to the point. You know?
Yeah.
He'd go all the way off another tangent and just come back. Man, he was a killer, bro.
Man, he was the raggediest cop ever.
He killed his wife.
But wow.
Kojak.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with Beretta, man. Beretta was dope back in the day. Beretta. But number one is the whole Law and Order franchise.
Yeah.
All of them. The old ones and the new ones. The new Law and Order, the old one, even though the new one right now. What's the brother, the big dude? Nah, Anthony Anderson ain't on it no more. Nah, they got this big dude, man. He like 6'5", and his suits be too tight. Yeah, and he ain't wearing them tight because of style. I think he wear them tight because he's just so big. But the Law and Order franchise for me, man, I still go to sleep off Law and Order every night. Oh, wait a minute. Number 2, let me change that. Scratch Beretta, Chicago PD.
Okay, I was gonna say that. I was about to say.
Chicago PD, bruh.
And then I gotta put a funny one in there.
Yeah, Chicago
Police Academy.
Oh, I was thinking about that.
That's why I was like, what is it? What is it?
My other favorite police show is TikTok.
He's silly. All right.
Yo, he left. He said TikTok. Your husband left.
So my aunt got Law and Order, Columbo. This is on my list right here. Monk. Oh yeah. Monk is that's on my list, huh? Monk, yeah, that's on my list too. Monk was a joint, man. I can watch Monk anytime. Kojak in the Heat of the Night. My mom got honorable mention SUV, but I don't see the other 4. The other 5, you went honorable mention. You forgot about the list. She got Blue Buzz honorable mention. Number 1 got Hawk and Starsky and Hutch, Hunter.
Oh, 9/11.
She said Andy arrested.
That's a good one too.
She said Andy arrested moonshiners too.
Yeah, 911. That's a good one with Angela Bassett.
Tarita said Policewoman with Angie Dickinson was her show.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And Christy Love was the first black woman to have a cop show. All right. So I got. Here's one that nobody said. It was all time. It was a classic. Barney Miller. Hey, Barney Miller was a great show, man.
That was good.
Yeah,
That was
Barney
good.
Miller.
What is that?
I got Miami Vice. I got Monk. I got my favorite now, NCIS Los Angeles. I didn't watch the other series, but you know, my
LL's
on there, so that's my GOAT. I told you that's my GOAT. So you know, LL, NCIS Los Angeles. My number 1 of all time is also my number 2 all time TV show behind Good Times. 24.
Oh man.
24
That's a good one. That is
is
a good
still the greatest.
Hey man, the whole concept.
The greatest concept I think ever on TV.
The whole concept. They counted down the hours.
Hey man, every show. And every show has you waiting at the edge of your doggone feet for the next show.
Man, I wish we had DVRs back then, boy.
24.
I would love to just not look at none of them and then
Watch them all at one time. Yeah, man. Because my brother told me about 24. They were about at the 19th hour, and I watched that one show, and I went back. I had to go back and watch all them joints. I got the whole series on DVD too. That's my all-time favorite.
Yeah, I hated it when they came back with Dr. Dre. He played Dr. Dre when he was.
Yeah, I watched it though.
Yeah, me too.
They didn't give it one season.
That's why I know it wasn't that good, because I looked at it every episode.
Yeah. So anyway, anywhere people can follow you, you got information or anything like that?
Introduce yourself. Hey, blessings, family. My name is Maximus from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm basically moving, transitioning to South America. You know, and that's another whole story. Opening up that, and I'm actually buying land over there, and I want to create an incubator for New Earth. You know, and the whole idea of reparations is more than just a check too. You know, there's so much healing that needs to be done on such profound levels, whether it's through nutrition, proper diet, you know, meditations, you know, cleansing our minds, our body, our soul. So I want to create a space and place where we could come together in that way and go through deep, profound, the medicines, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my whole thing, my name is Maximus, my whole thing is about really bringing the people together in a good way, through ceremony, through celebration. You know, I offer my own medicine. I would like to make that available for all of you at some point, you know. I'm gonna see how I make
You got,
myself.
you got something you can give to him right now?
Mullein leaf.
Look, all of us going to our phone.
Immediately.
Smoke, use mullein leaf into tea. You can make it into a tea. You can put it in one of those like tea balls, those herbal balls that you put inside the hot water, and it contains the herbs, and you put it inside there, and you just need to get a scoop out, put it inside the ball, let it sit in there, let it steep for about 5 minutes, and then you drink that tea day and night. And one in the morning, one in the night. Mullein leaf will definitely.
Found
Mullein leaf will contain the free radicals that's in your body, in your lungs mainly, and remove mucus from your lungs.
Wow.
It cures bronchitis. It cures any type of lung issues. If you can smoke it, some people smoke the mullein leaf. You know, in terms of ingesting it, anything that you smoke is, you know, can potentially cause carcinogen and things like that later down the road. But I prefer to use it as a tea, you know, and you drink the mullein and just have it once in the morning. It's a great tasting tea. I don't use no honey. I don't use anything. I just drink it raw, you know, and it works wonders.
I've known you for over 11 years, and how come I'm still fat?
You don't listen.
If you know all this, I'm messing with you.
Because you don't listen.
Because you outside.
I don't listen. I'm sorry.
You can also get that tea
'Cause
at
you outside.
Wadata. It's a black-owned grocery store over in the West End. Wadata.
When it's down from the entrance, it's on across the street.
Yeah, across the street, right across from the what is that? There's a Goodwill right there on the corner, and it used to be the Krispy Kreme is still right there. So literally one building past the Krispy Kreme, you can't miss Wadata. It's the only black female grocery store right there.
So it's got that there?
Yeah, it has. You got to go to the back for the loose leaf, but it's a perfect place. I mean, if y'all just want to go for really just to get a whole bunch of different herbs, like, you know, just to support black business in general, it's one of the best places I would suggest going to, because they have everyone's product in there is an entrepreneur that's serving the community health-wise.
Hey, you know, I just want to put this out there. Once again, my Instagram is Maximus, MAXIMVS, Prophet, PROPHET. That's my Instagram if you want to find me and tune in. It's Maximus, MAXIMV, as in Victor S, Prophet, PROPHET. That's how you'll find me on Instagram. Once again, the work that I'm doing, and it's really all about the healing that needs to take place within our people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, reparations is not just a check. There's so much healing that needs to. Even if they were to give us all $100,000 check, you know, we'll blow it. You know, and we'll still not have the harmony and the peace and the, you know, to move forward as a people. You know, so another thing is too, the healers need healing. You know. The healers are all jacked up. We're all jacked up as a people, you know what I'm saying? So the healers need healing. We need to create a container, you know, of healing in terms of having the healers come through, whether it's the yogis, the shamans, you know, the elders, you know, meditative practitioners. The point is creating a council or a circle of the healers, the artisans, and the musicians. That's part of the healing process too, you know. So all that said, Tribes of Humanity, Global Alliance, that's the movement that I initiated. You know, the Grand Gathering of the Tribes is interesting. I did that years ago. I was doing this in Brooklyn, New York. And what's interesting is, and later on waking up, because I am an Israelite, and realizing that, you know, part of that gathering of the tribes is us coming together once again. You know, all that said, nothing but love and light, peace and blessings to all of you, man. I really am honored to be here. Thank you, Shug. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. We from Brooklyn.
You know.
I need to let them know somebody else from Brooklyn because they keep coming at my neck.
Appreciate you coming in, bro. For real.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Absolutely.
Floor is yours. Talk to us. We can find you, follow you.
So on Facebook, Adrian Stearns Price is my personal, and my business is No More Hurt Kids. Instagram, AA Pepsi Girl is my personal, No More Hurt Kids, the professional one. NoMoreHurtKids.com, NoMoreHurtKids@gmail.com. Please get your colonoscopy. Don't be like me. Be better than me. Schedule your colonoscopy. Some doctors say they won't test you unless you have somebody in your family. I'm your sister. You have an immediate person in your family. I'm your sister. I'm everybody's sister. Go get tested. Do not let this take you out. Do not let this beat you. Fight with me. Stand with me. Stand for me. Let's fight this together. Change.org/colon cancer. Please sign the petition. It's going to ask you for $3. It's going to ask you for $7. I'm not asking nobody for a dime. Just sign it. I'm trying to get this as high as it can go. Right now it's about 3,000 signatures. I'm trying to get it as high as it possibly can go. Change.org/colon cancer. Let's get these insurance companies to remove the age limit to test for colon cancer.
Outstanding.
Appreciate you being transparent, young lady.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, we outside. I'm glad. You see that? It came out of him. Yeah, we came out of him. I'm glad I was able to bring some more, Brooklynites and all that together so I can see is that only me, we spiritual. Well, I want to let y'all know something. Every Tuesday, you can find me here at the Uptown Comedy Corner, which is called $5 Funny. And I'm going to tell you this, that's going to be the biggest movement to ever hit the comedy circuit because we moving, because we outside. All right? You can find me at Sugar Sean, SUGASEAN, Riley on Instagram. And my other Instagram for the show is WIW_comedy. And on the 17th, I'm at the Ground and Pound out in Alpharetta with my other brothers and sisters doing our thing. But every Tuesday, we starting something that's gonna be epic and it's never gonna stop. All right? And I'm just happy my peoples was with me tonight, and they love me, you know what I'm saying?
They showed up.
They showed up because now y'all see the other side of Brooklyn, so it's good. We outside, right?
We outside.
Yeah, oh, you see that? All that coming out. So I'm telling you, this is what we do. He be hiding. He from Brooklyn too, but he trying to hide a little bit. He from Brooklyn. Yeah, he out there. So we outside. We outside. But that's it. Thanks to all my brothers that pulled up, man. My man Dez, and my man Pat, and my man Max.
Come up, man. Come up. Introduce yourself.
Please.
Yourself
Please.
officially. Bring the painting so they can see it.
Bring that painting over here.
Yeah, let them know what that is. Stand behind them. Stand behind them.
Come behind me. Come behind me and pull that thing up, man, so you can.
We outside.
Yeah, go ahead and tell the people what you said earlier. That was powerful.
That mic not up. Give me this.
I'm first generation American. My mother's from Jamaica. My dad is from Guyana. And I have never felt like I was America's child. I was born here, but I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. And I never really talked like my friends. I never really shared the same ideas as my friends because I was brought up in my house. So with a different culture, with a different taste of food and awareness of, just the islands in general, the Caribbean. So I never really felt like I was America's child, and I've never stepped foot on African soil, so I don't know where to begin as far as like a tribe that I belong to, or, I've recently come into understanding that if I'm Jamaican, I might be Ghanaian, so I may start in Ghana, but I feel like because I don't know where to begin with either one of these two worlds, I feel like I'm the hyphen between the two in limbo, just trying to figure out where I belong as far as like mentally. I feel like I'm the hyphen, between these two worlds. And this is a question: am I an African? Am I an African? Am I anything could come right here, but am I an is all in the word American? You know what I mean? It's a question. It's something that beckons from, kids that have been born here but don't have a sense of a footing of where to start a trod, where to start a walk down a certain path. We just end up here and we just try to figure things out, just walking, amongst different crowds, different circles, whichever one accepts us. You know what I mean? We've been called nigger, we've been called colored, we've been called lazy, we've been called, whatever, but what do we need a title? Do we need to be a hyphenated people? Do we need to be, a people that feel like a dash, between, these two ideologies, these two worlds, these two ways of life, these two cultures? I've just never felt like, with all these killings, us hunting each other, police hunting us, I never felt like, I really belong here. You know what I mean? I want to know what else is out there. I want to know what another way to live. You know what I mean? Instead of just focusing on popularity and things that are the general consensus. You know what I mean? I want to be able to be an individual. I want to be able to know myself. So this was a piece that I did that, helped me to try to figure out or ask people when they see the piece, like, what questions do you have about yourself? Am I a what?
How much is this?
2,000.
2,000?
My Instagram. You went back inside. Yeah,
Tell them where they can follow it.
It's only one in the world, so
Tell them where they can follow you.
At Peace Desi, PEACEDEZI, PEACEDEZI at Peace Desi for Instagram.
I mean, that joint dope. Could you draw it on my back of my jacket? So I could feel like I got, wow, 2,000. Your price is the one. Yesterday price ain't not today's price. I remember you wasn't selling shit for 2,000. Oh shit. Boy done got on TV. Wow.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What you got, bro?
Yeah, I was a little bit under the weather. I was coughing all night. I thought I was over, but I guess not. It's stuck in my chest.
I bet I get sick.
I just ordered 2 packs.
But
I was sitting here. I just ordered that joint.
Yeah. But I would definitely say this about the. We've had a lot of guests on this show, but I mean, we could have remained silent and this show would have flowed. Everybody was just on point. We definitely gonna fellowship, and like I said, you almost had me in tears. I had to damn pinch myself twice. I was like, oh shit, this is like just your openness, and I never would have guessed it. Just the strength you have, it shows through. So like I said, this is one of my favorite shows now. We've been knocking out the box the last couple of weeks, but this
we had
last week, and I didn't think last week was gonna get beat. So that's really appreciate y'all for coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
Sean,
you.
you're not all bad.
Huh?
Not all bad, but you associate with good people.
Yeah, don't put that out. I'm outside. I'm a thug. From the streets, nigga.
You from the hood.
Word. Tell me now. Talk to me nice.
They say I missed my mom's top 5, but I done scrolled all the way up, but I just don't see it. So you retype it, I read it out real quick, but I don't see it. I search. But anyway, early voting still goes on, man. I think until November 4th, I believe, because election day is on the 8th. So, the power of the vote, man. We got to use our power. Folks fought and died for, whether you You know, I had this conversation with my dad the other day, man. You know, whether you believe it or not, your vote counts. You know, we can't worry about the president. We got to think locally, think globally, vote locally. Think globally, but you got to vote locally. The superintendent of schools, that's such a huge position. If we want to see some change in the school system, man, we got to know who's on the school boards. We got to know who's on those boards. And, you know, other than that, they're going to continue to teach the BS dialogue that they teach our kids, which is why it's so important to speak to your kids directly, you know. Ben, grab the mic for him so we can hear him. Grab Sean's if you need to, but here's the other one. I don't know if it's dead or not, but we can't. They're not gonna be able to hear you what you're saying.
When Ossoff and Perdue and Loeffler and Warnock ran last time, a big thing that we were going through was, you know, Senator Kelly Loeffler and Perdue literally, you know, gave particular contracts in order to, you know, receive votes. And, you know, it was big because, you know, the one thing, Loeffler was chosen by President Trump, and then Perdue, Trump. Kemp, and then Perdue, like I said, was literally shorted his stock when he knew that the stock was going to drop, and he took all his money out the stock market. So it's just like they put that in that was on the voting ballot. So it's not only candidates on there, like you said, not just the school board. It's actual things that if you think that it's something that you want to see change, they're putting it right there on the ballot. So you're not just going in there voting for just candidates. There are actual laws and things that if you want to right a wrong, you know, and it may be something that you seen that you thought was wrong, it's on the ballot. So there's really a reason to go out there and vote. It's not just about the people. It is about the people, but it's not just about the people, because people don't realize that there's other things that you can vote on, and there's other things that they put in there to vote on them, and we need to vote on those things too. We need to be as serious about those things as we are serious about these candidates, because they're putting it in there for a reason. They're not going to put it in there if they didn't think that it needed to be in there, you know. So I just you know, ask people to explore that, you know. Yeah.
If you don't know, you can download a sample ballot before you go to the ballot box. Review it, study it, go and see what the amendment to Section A, subsection 3B says before you vote on it. Because they be like, well, we're going to change that to saying that anybody that gets pulled over gets a strip search. And all of a sudden you voted yes, and now all of a sudden you butt naked on the side of the highway. Right. Go do your research. Download the sample ballot. Look up what the subsection A is of this law. Figure it out. Don't rely on Fox News. Don't rely on MSNBC, CNN. I have so many Google searches, and I'm going to get started on that. But I actually go to the .gov sites and pull down the ballot. What are y'all talking about? What do you guys want me to vote on? So do your research, guys.
He is Mr. CNN.
100%.
What?
So you Mr.
He
CNN.
is Mr. CNN.
I'm Mr. CNN, Mr. MSNBC. I even listen to Fox News. I want to hear what the hell they talking about too. I'm just saying. I want to hear what the crazy's talking about. Every now and then, the deep end, I'm like, oh no, I can't go that deep. Y'all can have that shit. Not me.
Voting is how they know, how they basically know how many people are actually invested in this system, how many people believe in the system. The reason they want you to vote is so that they could get your consent, and to, you know, to once again to gauge how many people are really believing in this system. Personally, I haven't voted in over in decades at this point. You know, I don't want to invest myself into this system. If anything, I'm about extracting myself from the system, and if anything, we have to create our own system, our own reality, our own world. You know, I think segregation was good, and we were thriving during segregation. You know, us in becoming intertwined with this system is what has been our demise and our destruction, if anything. You know.
Right.
No, that's for real. You know?
Teasy, what you got, brother?
I think I found your mom's top 5.
Okay, good. 'Cause I couldn't.
Elliot Ness.
Oh, wow.
Car 54, Where Are You? NCIS, In the Heat of the Night, and Law and Order.
Awesome.
I don't have much, man. Great show, just like Asakop said. This has been, I mean, we always have good shows, but these last 2 shows has been really hitting some points. And I think tonight's show hit a lot of points. We even got around to talking about having conversations with your children, and that was not part of the topics tonight, but we came around to it because it's a classic conversation. Shell of a Man stage play. We will be back January 8th at, what's the name? Hold on, I think, there it goes. The Highlight Studios. I haven't been there, but the tickets go on sale next week. All you got to do is Google, it's on Eventbrite, Google Shell of a Man 2023, 7 men, 7 issues, and 7 reasons why it affects their loved ones and why they are shell of men instead of being a whole man. That is going to do it.
Hey, real quick, man, based on what you said earlier, maybe think about one of our guests we had a while back, a brother named Isaac Barnes. I want y'all to look him up. Isaac Barnes. Site is Black is Tech. Black is Tech. And he came on the show. He's talking about creating your own communities. Black people creating their own structures. You know, again, we say we want answers. He's literally creating something. His brother's young man, got $1 billion federal contract, tech contract. He's been meeting with some of the biggest wigs around. He's getting some real strong support. But his name is Isaac Barnes, Black is Tech, and his concept is creating your own within, your own community, your own banking structure, your own all that stuff, man. The brother is deep.
Very.
Very, very deep. And, you know, and it's one of those things where if we really want change, we have to look into people who are trying to create it, you know, but a lot of times our folks, that's not real. That's, you know what I mean? We just downplay it. But you check them out, man, and we're going to get him back on the show soon. So I talked to those folks the other day. He wants to come back because things have grown in that organization. So, but check him out, Isaac Barnes.
All right, so that's going to do it, man. We're going to do the show next Tuesday. It's voting day. We're going to do it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, good. We're going to have the polls up and everything. So, yeah, that's going to do it.
Actually, I got Positive K. Positive K.
Hey,
y'all
man.
know the old school rapper.
Just never
what
know
your man
who's going to stop by Classic Conversations.
He going to be on here next Tuesday.
Never know who's going to stop through. So,
yeah.
We're going to get the glitches right. Right, Dwayne?
Right, Will. I see you just tuned in, Will.
Yeah. We're going to get it right next week, y'all. So the only breaks will be scheduled breaks next week. So that's going to do it. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea and Lo.
Let's go.
And we out. You dig?
The culture, the nature's different. I don't hate you. We can eat in your restaurant. We want to marry your women. We got your women now. It ain't nothing we can't do today. But these things the dog got. I see dogs on television eating out of the same plate with white people. I see dogs in the buses, and they do everything with the dogs. So I ain't getting nothing the dog ain't got. So really, ain't nothing in this integration. I need some land. I need some jobs. My people need jobs. We need something so we can build and do for ourselves, and we must have some land. 40 million people. You know, it's a lot of Negroes just in New York and Cleveland, Baltimore, Washington, California. It's a lot of black. Woo, that's a whole nation. 40 million, man. They don't tell you the truth about that. They want us to stop having babies. They give them birth control. They're paying black women not to have babies. 40 million, not 20 million? Yeah, they're paying black women not to have babies now. They got all kind of plans to stop our race.
Well,
so when we know all of this,
getting into birth
so now
control,
a man with my knowledge, what can you tell a man like me now? What's your suggestion? That's your question. Okay, you talking to me, not a dumb Negro or pork chop eater, don't know the truth. I'm free now. I woke up. Now, what are you going to tell me now? I done gave you my solution, some land of my own, doing something for myself like you, England, and America do. Now, I know you're not against the black man. I know you're not against me having my land, are you? I know you English and ruled and slaved forever for a long time. But do you still today don't want me to have my own country and build for myself and govern myself? Would you think that's bad if we thought like that? What's your solution to my problem? 1974, then you all just, a white man just flew from New York to England in an hour, less than 2 hours. You all are so progressive. You're walking around on other planets. Now, today, I'm intelligent too now. What's your suggestion? What should be my movement? Integrate?
Yeah, equal rights in a mixed society.
In this society, where you still own the government, you still own the train station, the railroad plant, the lecture plant, these television cameras, you still make all the food, you control everything, and I'm like a leech on a dog's back. All I can do is just wait